So you moved to Bend looking for more
outdoors. I actually bought 10 acres out of town. I love the country and I love being in the backcountry, but it was like a burden after a while. And I'd kind of done with being outside of town. So I wanted to be in town, in the right setting. A friend of mine had this lot. I built a post and beam house down the street. It was about 3,000 square feet. So I just thought that it'd be nice to have a smaller house. So I was thinking of downsizing. So he sold me the lot, and I just came up and visualized what it was going to be. I come up and camp on this site just to see where the light went and the sun came in. You get a feel of how it worked during the day and night. So I placed the house there based on that perception of what it was going to look like. I wanted it narrow because that was a workable living space. There's the light coming in from different angles. I wanted a lot of light in the house. So the windows are oversized, and so you're seeing light at different times of the day. The door is an oversized door, too. This is a 7-foot door instead of 6'8". Just to give it just a little difference, give it more length, give it just a feeling of it's going up. So give it proportion. The window above is a standard 6-foot window, but I wanted to put that as kind of juxtaposition to this door. And I painted them red because I like Chinese red.
It's actually high.
It's almost 30 feet high. I kind of plan a house from the inside out. I plan it from the standpoint of where you're going to be in the house and how it's going to work. A lot of houses are planned from the outside. You know, the window should be this far apart, and they don't quite work. The drafts person wanted to symmetrically place them, and I said, no, this is where they got to go. This little morning light's going to come through here, and it's going to come through here. As you can tell, my landscaping isn't too great. I put about a half hour a year into it. These grasses are green most of the year, and they're quite tall. And the color of the house was to match the grasses. And I wanted the light to come in the bedroom. The doors are 8-foot doors, and the deck I cantilevered over because I didn't want posts and the beams run through the bedroom.
So why keep the footprint so small?
You know, basically, I wanted it to work so I could have some setback to expand it on the side if I needed to. But I didn't need more space. But the footprint just seemed to be enough. You can get 20 people in there and it seems big. This is a bedroom downstairs.
We put the bedroom downstairs.
It's cooler in the summer. There's a pull fan that pulls the heat from the upstairs down in the wintertime. And so it circulates. It's pretty easy to heat in the wintertime because the sun will come in pretty deep. The sun will come into here in the wintertime. So it's a little cooler, so you can cool it off at night and it stays pretty cool. I wanted natural light coming in just from the east, west, south. Just play with it as the day goes by.
How did you play with the light? I mean, how did you know from sitting here on the property?
Yeah, sitting on the property and seeing where it came and sunrise came up and seeing how that light was going to play based on a concept and then be willing to change it if it doesn't work. The plans that were actually accepted were 2 feet shorter. And I was starting to do the foundation. I said, this isn't going to work. I got to add 2 feet. So at the last minute, I changed it.
But that's one of the benefits of kind of doing a lot yourself, then.
Yeah. And this is where the glass block works in the white shower.
I like it.
And the light comes through really nice. No washer and dryer.
No washer dryer?
No washer and dryer. No, it would go there if I put one in.
Okay.
Be
But
stacked.
you just haven't needed one. 15 years? And
No, not really. So we designed the railing. I had a friend build it as an iron worker. This is the upstairs. I wanted more height to give it more. This is sky country, if you can notice. You're looking at the sky a lot. And that's one of the beauties of living here is the sky, because it's changing all the time. So if you're sitting down here, you're going to look at the sky, and all of a sudden you're doing something and you're caught because the afterglow has changed completely. And the beauty of washing the dishes is when you stand up there, you're looking up. You're just looking, as you get closer to it, it's just getting bigger and bigger, the sky. And now you're looking at that cloud. So you can sit anywhere in the house, upstairs, and you get a different vista. So it feels like a tree house in that sense. This tree is situated, these old growth Ponderosa pines. So depending where you sit, you can sit down on that bench and you get a different view of the house, and you sit down here. Let the day go by, the sun can change, everything can change, and you're just enjoying it. And that's like a contemplation spot. But you could see 20 people in this house and it wouldn't feel cramped.
So you really built just what you needed.
Yeah. I wanted to be a place I felt comfortable in, that had a lot of natural light, that brought the outdoors indoors, based on the season, so that you have this feel of seasons and changes in the day, instead of feeling like you're coming into something that is claustrophobic or just sheetrock. I love this whole view here because it's looking south. That's all national forest everywhere you look out here. These are first growth, old growth, Ponderosa pines that were never cut. These three, you can see how big they are. Yeah, they're a couple hundred years old. That's an old growth one in the background too. This was all timbered. This was the two biggest mills on the West Coast were in Bend, and everybody worked in the mill or supported the mill. And yeah, I've left that tree because it's got like sculpture, and the birds come into it. I didn't want the railing to be a solid piece, so I put cables. I should stain the deck, but it's been 16 years. Seems like yesterday.
You decided to design and build basically on your own. I mean, you had experience?
Jack of all trades, master of none. Basically, we framed it all and sheeted it all, and then I subbed out the plumbing and the sheetrock, things like that. But basically designed it, did all the subcontracting, and structurally built it.
You're not an architect, though?
No, no.
You don't have to be an architect to design your own home?
No.
Huh. Would you use books?
Well, I stole a lot, really. I've got inspiration from different books. I've got piles of stuff. Things like this. Here's a little house that I like that my friend and we might build, and he's got 2 houses on a lot, and this is a little footprint for a house. So it's 550 square feet, and it would work. These are just all house designs. I like roof structures I'm looking at. I like this. I like that the way it dangles.
Yeah.
Picasso says the difference between a great artist and a mediocre artist is a great artist always steals. Because there's no such thing as a new idea.
Yeah.
It's basically recreating ideas from inspiration. Just doors I like, Japanese sushi. So yeah, there's just piles of stuff. So there's 100 ideas in there.
Wow, you just kept it all.
Yeah, these are some of the inspirations I liked. Stucco.
And this was all back in...
This is 88.
88. So before the internet.
98.
98.
Yeah, 98.
You really weren't using the internet.
No, just visuals.
It's easier now.
Yeah, it is. Because there may be too much information now.
Yeah.
And to really get any sense of what it's about.
You talked when you decided to downsize your home. Part of the reason was to be able to invest in other things in a way.
Yeah, I did. This is my latest passion. This is the art of Lucy and Ellen Begay, mother and daughter weavers.
This is your book?
Yeah. Basically, it's an great American art form. And there's Grandma. And there's the 3 generations. Lucy and Ellen Begay, the mother and daughter. The only weavers I know in the world that are really artists. And every piece is different. 9 months, 10 months to weave, and it's a meditative process. It's really linked into the culture. And this is where they live. So they see a lot of space. They asked what inspires them to weave. They seem to weave what they see, which is negative, positive space, foreground and background, trading places, shading and light, constantly on move. This piece is all natural. There's no dyes in it. They take about 2 to 3 weeks to do a square foot. And this is their corral where they live and so forth. And so they see these panoramas, these vistas of 20, 30, 40 miles. They're in northern Arizona. This is Canyon de Chelly, where near they live. So you see the stratations and so forth. And Which is a Navajo aesthetic. It's taking images and objects and abstracting them into a piece of art. And it's tapestry weave, so they only have so much warp. This is 3 by 5 feet to work with. They finish it off with a needle, so it takes days to finish it off. So you can't tell where they finished it off. When I reversed it, you couldn't tell the front from the back. You could hold water in one of these. They're all wool. This is the way they don't go straight across. They weave just in sections, and they build up the design as they go. And usually the design is in their heads. A natural mathematical aesthetic. This is not a cartoon of the back. This is basically the piece that they finished already and wrapped it around underneath. She can't see that. The camera did. This is Lucy and another piece. Paul McCartney owns this piece. They
So
get
they're
hooked up and
Okay.
well, they should be more well known. I kept seeing their work and I said, this is a story that needs to be told.
Yeah.
They're just doing beautiful work. This is about 20 years of their work. So it's a window in time. It's a dying art form because, as the cultures clash, it's changing, and so this is how a piece gets started. The time involved to do one, and this perspective of being able to create new designs every time is quite challenging. It's physically and mentally demanding because you're working close to the loom here, and it's finger weaving. So you pull out the alternate warp, and you set a stick behind it, and you weave there with your fingers. This is their home, traditional Hogan. So they're traditional Navajo. They believe that Hozo, which is H-O-Z-O, is a Navajo term for living in harmony. And weaving is a harmonious activity. It helps support the family too. They say if a weaver, if there's not harmony in the house, it's hard for a weaver to weave because of tension. Because you have to keep this whole thing and the tension's working. And the tighter you weave, the more you have a contradiction and it wants to curl up. So you get really tight weaving, and to be able to lay flat, pretty amazing. So you have pieces like this that are blankets. It took about 8 months to weave, and you see how fine that is. This is all naturals. This is cochineal for the cactus beetle, red. This is a rabbit brush yellow. It's really faint. And different lights, it shows out more yellow. This is indigo, natural brown, natural white. This is a little piece Lucy did. But it's so finely done. The number of warps per inch, the number of wefts per inch is very high. It's almost like dental floss. You can pay up to $1 million for a classic blanket. But from the weaver standpoint, it's the continuation of a culture.
Did you write the book here? I mean, was this
Yes.
a place to, is this a writer's place for
Yes,
you?
I wrote the book here, on this couch.
On the couch, did you really?
Many times, or in that chair, or wherever. You procrastinate like anything, and you get piles of notes, but it's a great place to be. It's how you define your own space, somewhat. The weaving really reflects where they live. Their aesthetic is based on where they live. It's the art of weaving, it's the art of meditation, it's the art of doing. They do the phrase, walk in beauty. It's not descriptive, it's the act of doing. It's not the result. Art is a process, a daily process.
Would you say your house is unusual
Yeah.
around the area?
Yeah, I guess so. I get knocks on the door all the time. One occasion, 2 young ladies knocked on the door. They're selling their religious literature, and they said, we don't want to show you the literature, we just want to see your house. I guess they love the playfulness of it, I guess.